I don't know you, Peter, but this is for you. I hope that your health is getting better and this will at least amuse you. This is a brass lock, or what is left of a brass lock, which I took off a trunk which I bought from the Far East when I came to live in Europe. You can see it says Hong Kong written on it. I don't know what the other word is there, ACLOC. And this is completely handmade, absolutely made by hand from a piece of brass, plus a few other odds and ends inside, completely handmade, cut with a chisel and saw from a piece of metal. The only thing, Peter, is I can't actually pick it. It's far too complicated for me, but I thought you might be interested in it anyway. So I'm just going to take it apart to show you what it's like on the inside and explain why I can't pick it. There are just a couple of small screws here. And that means that this cover can now come off, and that displays the interior, which are 4 wafers. I hope you can see them from there. And each wafer completely handmade and cut from a bit of metal with a small spring. And when everything is in position, it will allow this metal piece here to be moved along on a cam. So what I'm going to do is take these little pieces out, these wafers out, as you can see, and look at the way they're made. You can really tell that they are completely made by hand. They're even rough around the edges. I think that's fantastic. There are 4 of those inside. And each one of these just has a spring. There's the 3rd one, and there's the 4th one. Now when these are aligned, it allows the cam on the key to move this backwards and forwards, which in turn grabs hold of 2 extensions which go down inside there. So even this piece here is amazing. You can see how rough it is, and it's completely cut by hand. Some Chinese guy with a hacksaw cutting through that. I think that's amazing, the way that these artisans made these keys. So the way it works is that each of these wafers has a lug, and when these lugs are in a certain position, which I'm going to try and do just by hand here, when they're in a certain position, I'm going to put it on the table and try and get them there. At one point, there will be enough space. I'm going to use this, if I can, to get inside there. At a certain position, you will see when all of these wafers in the correct position, that will allow, I don't know if you can see it from there, it's quite difficult for me to even hold it, but that will allow the cam to move freely across. I hope you can understand that. It's very difficult for me to hold these. So I'm going to put it back together now. Because I don't have a key, and I've never had a key, I've never been able to open it. So I'm just going to put it back together now. Each wafer just goes onto there, and the spring goes up against this shaft here. 1, And as you see, if I show you with one, if that is in the correct position, that will allow movement on this metal. But they all have to be in the correct position, and I don't have a key, and I wouldn't even know what the key looks like to do it. So here we go, just put it back together again. Unfortunately, Peter, I can't pick this for you, but I hope it's given you a little bit of enjoyment seeing this rather strange, completely artisan made lock. And in the meantime, there it is, and you can see the cam's quite clearly there, I think, and you can also see that it's impossible for this to move across until they're all in the correct position. So I'm just going to put the lid back on, which is not brass, it's just a bit of gunmetal, a bit of base metal. And I hope you've enjoyed that, Peter, and I hope your health gets better. This is for you, Peter. If I can even get it back together. I wish you good health.